You know what's cooler than the word snatch? Learning how to snatch. Hey guys, Rob here with CrossFit 77. Today we are going to talk about the setup position for a snatch and then progressively get into how to snatch. What is snatching, you may ask? It is ground to overhead in one movement. One of the biggest reasons why we snatch is it builds explosiveness. It's one of the Olympic lifts. For youth and teen athletic development, you're gonna get your biggest bang for your buck with that explosiveness, as well as you're gonna see it a ton in competitive CrossFit. I'm gonna have Bryce help me out. We are gonna talk about all the key points and how we're gonna set up for a snatch. The first one that we're gonna talk about is gripping the bar. It is gonna change from person to person. The biggest thing that's gonna take that into effect is length of the arms. The other big thing is we're gonna talk about grip. So we've got our standard power grip, which is just thumb wrapped around, and then we're gonna get into a hook grip, which is probably gonna be your best one. So when gripping the barbell, guys, the big thing you want to think about is when you stand up tall, the barbell should sit right in your hip crease. So widening the hands or bringing them in, you want to find a position that's comfortable. So when you stand up nice and tall, that bar just sits right in the hip crease. As you can see with Bryce, he's got his hands right outside that neural marking. The great thing about that neural marking or that neural line is he can use that as a reference point from side to side. So he can look from side to side and say, well, I'm equally on both sides of that barbell. As you can see also, Bryce has a hook grip on the barbell, so he's basically wrapping his index finger and middle finger around his thumb, and that is actually what is creating that grip. According to weightlifters, this is going to be the strongest grip. We get a little bit more of a pull with those three fingers versus wrapping the entire hand. All right, guys, we got the grip set up. Now we're gonna talk about foot positioning or foot placement. This is gonna be the one thing that is gonna change from lifter to lifter. One of the big reasons why. You'll see some people that are taller might wanna go with a wider stance. Shorter people might bring their feet in. Big things that we wanna focus on: one, keeping the toes pointed forward. So we're gonna set up, what I like to do is grab people and have their feet right in under their hips, toes pointed straight forward. A lot of times that brings them right in between the actual knurling on the bar. Each time that you set up, you want to make sure that your feet are in that same place. Since Bryce is pretty tall, he may actually want to go a little bit wider. Whatever he is going to feel is going to be more comfortable for him. One of the big reasons why we want to load the bar up as somebody is learning how to snatch is this is going to put them in an ideal position because this is where the barbell is going to sit when they go into snatch. So once we've got the barbell set up, we talked about grip, we talked about where the feet are at. Now what he's gonna go back down and grip the bar where he had it previously before. So as you saw, probably about an inch to the sides of those knurling lines. Once we get that setup position, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about basically hip height, how the back is gonna be set up, how his shoulders are set up. Bryce has got his feet flat. As he's down in that position, what he wants to think about doing is keeping balance in the center of the foot. And what I like to think about is cutting the foot straight down the middle. That's where we want that weight to be placed in that setup. So we don't want to be rocked back. We don't want to be rocked forward. Hip height, this is a big thing. The hip height is going to change once again from how tall the person is. So taller people, typically we'll see it's a little bit tougher for them to get their hip down. So a lot of times we want the lifter feel comfortable in that pulling position. Once we check out that hip height, he feels good. We then want to talk about the flat back. So we always talk about flat back. We're not trying to hyperextend or arch the back. We just want a straight line. So basically, if I held a PVC pipe, it should make contact with his entire back. The next thing, we want shoulder blades back. So as he pulls on that bar, they call it pulling the tension or pulling the slack out of the bar. You'll hear an audible click. We want to think about retracting those scaps and really getting those lats fired up as well. The last thing in that startup position, we want to keep the head and eyes straight forward. So as he sets up, he's going to pick a focal target straight out in front of him, and we want to make sure that that line's nice and set, and that is going to be our startup position. Hey guys, Coach Rob back again. We went through the setup for the snatch. big things that you do want to remember is this is going to change from person to person. The main things that we went over, we want to try to use those just as general guidelines. But the big thing is there really is no right or wrong. Due to anatomy and just the way that we're built, we're going to see different things for different people. So just make sure that as you're going through those setup positions and those starting things, just look at those key points. Grip, feet, hips, back, shoulders. Once you're done with that, then we're gonna be ready. So in the next video, we're gonna talk about the actual pulls of the snatch, so we'll actually get rocking and rolling. We'll see you guys next time.